All right, common mistakes in sales strategies and effective fixes. Most people are literally struggling. Most people are struggling because they don't know what they're doing, they don't know who they're talking to, what audience. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share on how to fix it. So the first thing is the introductory to my presentation is I want to share with you is a lot of people don't know who their audience is, how they can help them, and what they can do to help them. They're so confused on those topics right there, which makes the biggest difference when you first start out and you start talking to people. So you got to make sure that you literally know the problem, who you're talking to, and how you are helping them. So one sentence can literally clarify that. Like, I work with 50-year-old women. I work with moms who stay home. So let them know who you help, how you solve them, and how you can do that. Now, the second mistake most people do is most people will show up on social media. They'll have a great week, maybe even a whole great month, but then they disappear. And the one thing is, you got to keep the algorithm going. They have to know who you are, where you're at, when are you coming on. So being consistent is everything. If you're just showing up once in a while or just showing up a great week or one great month, and then you're not doing anything after another, it makes a big difference on the algorithm. So simplify it, but be consistent. Like, I can only go once a week on a Thursday, then do that. But don't show up one week and then another week two and another week three. So be consistent on how many times you show up. I think ideal is if you can show up at least every other day. But hey, when I first started out, I didn't know any better. I did 3 times a week. Make sure you always have a hook. Make sure you always have a call to action. Stay visible and be true. Be authentic. Be yourself. All right. Mistakes, problem. People don't talk about the problem. They don't talk about, how they can help someone. They're boring videos. No, they're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, but they're not giving the solution or the problem solving to their audience on how they can help them. So they end up losing views because when you give, the answer is when you solve a problem, when you give a solution on your videos, don't you think people are going to come back more and more? Yes, they do. They will come back over and over. If you're authentic, if you're true, you have a day where you have no makeup and you don't have everything all together, because the people who look pretty and gorgeous and makeup and they have the best suits and they have everything just right, people are going to say, I can never mount up to what Laura does, and they won't come back. And the other thing is they love when you are authentic and saying, you know what, I'm just having a bad day, but I'm going to keep going and I'm going to overcome this fear. That's what they love, is being authentic and being true and really showing your true essence. Now, not everybody's perfect. Trust me, we all have bad days, right? All right. So, don't avoid going live. If you could do live, if you could do reels, they're more powerful than post. That's why I love TikTok, because I go live and I go live Monday through Friday. And then I also on FB, I do some posts and stuff. But if you're doing stories, that really helps too. So make sure that you're always giving bullet points and you're solving problems, giving solutions, and letting them know that you care, that you recognize them. When you show people that you feel their pain, you know what they're going through, they're going to resonate with you and they're going to be back more and more because they're like, Laura knows exactly how I feel. She knows exactly what I'm going through. And that's what people are looking for. So another one is a problem is being stagnant. You don't want to, you want to make sure that you're always giving, showing up. And it could be a variety. Like, you could do a post, you can do a reel, you can do a video, any of that stuff. So make sure that you're always engaging in your audience. Make sure you're always asking questions, a call to action, get them to put something in the comments, no matter what platform that you do, because every platform loves engagement. The more engagement you do, the more the algorithm will push your videos out. So that's pretty good. And then selling, you don't want to sell too early. You want to really give. And I would even try it for a couple months of just adding value, adding value, adding value. And once people get to know, like, and trust you, then you can start selling on a light way. Okay. On a very light way, but always put a call to action so people can can reply and you can keep the comments going. but I always have a call to action on most of my stuff. Be focused on your content. Don't be all over the place. If you're a digital marketer and you're talking about how to make a cake, it's not going to go. Make sure you stay true to the topic of who you are and what you do and how you solve. And talk about, don't ever say, don't talk about yourself all the time. Say you can do this too. Um, Make sure that you're always, I always say you, like you can do this. You can do, I mean, if I talk about me the whole time, they're not interested in that. People will drop off like hot potatoes. So you want to make sure that you do that. Start with you, address their pain immediately, make them seem like they're important, that you care, and that you always want to help them and that you hear them. They really want to be heard. That's the biggest thing. Don't overcomplicate messages. Just get to the point. If someone says, I want some more information, you know, you might want to ask them a question, see if they're serious, and then give them the link. I never put links in any of my stuff. I usually ask them to ask for it or I would DM them. That's a big thing. And then know your analytics of what works and what doesn't work. But selling is really important. It's being really true and making sure that you know your audience, make sure that you're very clear on your message and who you're talking to. And when you come down to fixing these things, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference on your sales when you know who you're talking to, when you know their pain, their anxiety, what keeps them up at night, what are they thinking about, where do they see themselves in a year. It's those things that you can start talking to your audience when you know their aspirations, their dreams, their visions, what they struggle with, what gives them a headache. All those things makes all the difference in the world. So make sure you subscribe because I always have tips, tricks, and hacks, and I always teach people different streams of income. So God bless and have a great day.